You're listening to Project 35, a project that I'll be interviewing 35 women coming from different countries and backgrounds. So let's listen to their stories and cheer them on their own unique journey. And I hope you will enjoy it as much as I do. Hi, Tani. How are you doing today?
Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for having me. I'm doing fine.
That's great to hear. First of all, I'm really happy that you agreed to be a part of Project 35. And
Pleasure.
yeah, and I think just give a bit of background for people who listen to our conversation, how we know each other. I think it was actually very much by chance. I was browsing through on the social medias on who are the health coaches that graduating
Exactly.
from IIN. And I happened to chance upon your Instagram, and I was so impressed with the kind of content, sharings, and
Oh, really?
beautiful pictures,
Oh, thank
beautiful, creative. And yeah, you happen to be in Singapore. So I said, why not, connect and get to know each other. And I reached out to you for advice. And, thank you so much for sharing with me so many useful information that helped me to kickstart the health coaching journey. So maybe you would like to share more about yourself as well, so the audience can get to know about you better as well.
you. Yes. So first of all, really, it's a pleasure to do that project with you, and it was always a pleasure to see you and to connect with you. And it's really nice that we connected. So happy to be here. So as you said, I'm a health coach, and recently I've also trained to become a hypnotherapist. So I'm working now. As a hypnotherapist and health coach, holistic health coach. So I combine both. I'm also a certified yoga teacher, so I integrate
Mm,
some like breathing techniques into my practice, and it's kind of all coming really nicely together.
mm,
Yeah, so we have arrived in Singapore 3 years ago. I'm originally from
mm.
Germany.
I
Um,
see.
but yeah, so here in Singapore since 3 years, and I'm a health coach since 2020 actually. So
Mm,
I made a complete career change in 2019. Before I
mm,
was working well in corporate for a very long time in marketing communications, and
mm,
then I became a mom, expert mom,
mm.
and I took a break, and yeah, and then I actually decided to become a health coach.
Wow, okay. So I hear a lot of, very niche here things here. Health coach, holistic health coach, hypnotherapist, yoga teacher. So first thing first, can you share with us like how does it start at the beginning? Like why health coach out so many other career, switch that you might consider. So why health coach actually?
Yeah, so well, I can go way back, actually to when I was 18, and actually I was
Mm,
considering studying medicine. I was always very, very much interested in the human
mm,
body and how it works. But back then, I ended up not doing it for
mm,
various reasons, and I went into marketing and communication, so nothing to do with that at all. So what happened much later on is that two things actually. First thing is that when our second daughter was born, she was born with, sorry for the details, was bloody diarrhea. And nobody knew actually what she had and what caused this bloody diarrhea. So we went from doctor to doctor to doctor, and nobody really wanted to take responsibility or to tell us what it is because she was still so small. Until one doctor told me that it might be useful to put me on a total elimination diet. And
mm,
because I was nursing her, and actually I was nursing her and until she was 2 years old. And that worked really, really well. So I went on a total elimination diet, and we slowly reintroduced certain foods, and we had a look at how she reacted to that,
mm,
and that made me really interested in food and in nutrition and how that affects our body and all of that. And I actually, when I tried to reintroduce certain foods, I realized that
mm,
I myself am reacting a lot to certain foods,
mm,
and I started to have gut issues and health problems, and so this was one of the reasons. So I really initially I wanted to study nutrition at that point. And then another thing happened is that my mom got very sick. She had cancer and she passed away in 2019. And that left me kind of lost at that point. And I really was wondering if the way I was living was the way I wanted to live. And I really realized that the time was precious, and that I maybe should ask myself back then at 35 about what I wanted to do with my life, and if I was really happy with the way I was living. And I realized I was not. And so I sat down and actually asked myself, what do I want to do? And so nutrition came up again, because this is what I was really passionate about. And while I was researching for nutrition studies, actually somebody talked about IIN, so where we both studied, and about health coaching. And I had not heard about health coaching back then at all. So it was a completely new concept to me. And I found it fascinating and so much more holistic, integrating so many different aspects. And I just signed up. I didn't think about it. I just signed up and I started studying health coaching. So this is basically in very short, very short, sorry, how I came to health coaching.
Okay. I really resonate with what you have shared with us, because I think we all gonna probably at a certain point of time we'll go through a midlife crisis. We have started to question our purpose, what are we born to do, what does it mean to live a meaningful life. And I think it was the same thing when I chanced upon IN. I was sinking, I was drowning, and the moment I saw IN, it's like there's something that hold on to, and something that really pull us out of the darkness and help us to find new purpose and things that we really find it meaningful. Yes. And you also mentioned that, besides after a holistic health coach, you practicing for a while, and then you also branching into different areas like hypnotherapist and yoga teacher. Can you share a little bit more about that too?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, at the beginning, I was asking myself what exactly in which area I wanted to specialize. Because usually, I mean, it's a very vast area, health coaching. So I wanted to find something that I was really passionate about. And I first thought about stress coaching, and I'm still very passionate about stress coaching, because I think it's a very, very a topic that is really up to date and concerns a lot of people. But about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, I had a hypnotherapy session. And it was my first hypnotherapy session. And it was a very, very deep session. I immediately went into past life regression, into one of my past lives. And, I was raised Christian, very, very open mind to all sorts of different religions and all of that. But I was not very familiar with past lives. And so I actually contacted my hypnotherapist, asking about being regressed to my childhood, to clear certain things. And actually, I immediately went into past life. And that session, which was 3 hours long, and I remember it as if it was yesterday, changed my life. It changed my life completely. And I remember when I ended the session, I told my hypnotherapist, if ever you are again coaching or training other hypnotherapists, please let me know. And back then, because he's a teacher as well, he's a trainer. And back then he told me, I don't know, with COVID, currently we don't expect to run any courses in Singapore. And I said, okay, that's fine. But then at the beginning of this year, so in January, I got an email from him saying, hey, Tani, how are you? Are you on? If I run a training, will you participate? And I had at that point already signed up for my yoga teacher training. And I said, oh my God, I can't do that all at the same time. But then again, I thought that this was a unique opportunity. And it is truly the best thing that I have done to decide to say yes to that training, because hypnotherapy has brought a whole new depths to my practice. So it's really, really very interesting, fascinating.
So now you really, make me feel like I really wanted to, give it a try, and try one of the hypnotherapy session with you as well. And I know it must not be easy at all, learning two things at the same time managing your family, time for yourself, for your partner, and for your kids. So how did you manage all of that? How do you make sure that you have time for your passions, time for your family at the same time, time for yourself?
That's a really interesting question. I don't know. I think once you decide that something is a priority, you make time, and everything falls into place. Like of course you have to make compromises. For me, my priority are my kids. So when my kids come back from school, we don't have a helper. I'm with my kids. So that's just like my work time is before my kids come home from school. So this is my first priority. And then in these hours that I have to myself, I decide what I want to do. And there's one part that is where I want to work and like give back to people and help people and work what I'm passionate and do what I'm passionate about. And there's some time that I need to myself, and there's some time where I want to grow and learn new things. And it's getting very busy, but in a good way. It's I think I always start my day, and this is a real privilege, I think, now that I'm working on my own. I start my day with an hour to myself, and I do yoga, or I go out in nature and walk, or for a run, or I do kickboxing, or I do something where I connect with myself, and then I start my day. And it gives me so much energy, to do all the things. And I remember, when I was coming into the yoga class, some of my friends, they were telling me, "Oh, you always come in, but like, sparkling and with loads of energy." And I think it's this hour in the morning that really gives me this energy. So, I think it comes all down to priorities.
I see. And I have to agree with your friends, it's even we are just talking through Zoom, but I can feel that a great sense of positive energy coming through the screen, and especially every time when we catch up, and I really really love that. So but I guess there was probably also the time that you started to feel down, you started to question yourself, the things that you're doing, whether it's the right things, whether you are doing something meaningful. So normally when this kind of doubt kicking in, right, what does it help for you to get out of that emotion and that kind of limiting thoughts?
That's funny that you say that, because actually just this week I had one of those moments, and I do have those moments. It's not all super happy and everything's super nice, and I'm hashtag also blessed. And no, I think there are moments where I feel really down, and I think it's also good to be clear about that when you work on your own, there are moments when you feel lonely, when you doubt yourself, when you have fears. I mean, I'm not only a house coach, a hypnotherapist, I'm running my own business. That means, I'm responsible of this business. And if I don't tell myself what to do, nobody is telling me what to do. So it's up to me, like same for you, right? It's up to us to make the rules. And I have to say that before I was really struggling with panic attacks, a lot of anxiety. I had that especially when I was working in corporate, but many times as well when I was a new mom. And it was really hard for me back then. And I think that was also one of the things that made me work in that field, because I wanted to learn how to cope with these things for myself. And because I've been through this, and I'm still going through this from time to time, I think I can understand people that are going through that as well. And so this week, what happened is that I was really doubting myself. Like I was writing a script, and I was not sure, and I was really doubting myself, and I'm a perfectionist, so I was going over it over and over again, and I felt really alone, and and actually what I did is I called a friend of mine who's also a hypnotherapist, and we talked about it, and that really helped. I think so there are a few things I think that really helped me. Is one, to connect with like-minded people, like you, like other friends that are working in the same field, that understand the situation I'm in, that have similar challenges, and we are there for each other. Even though we are not working in the same company, we kind of support each other. And that's really, really important. That's crucial. And the other thing is, I think I've learned over the years not to be as hard on myself, and to tell myself that, it's okay. It's okay. Just take a step back and put it down. Put it down. Okay, now I'm at the point where, like, my glass is full. Like, I can't take it anymore. Okay, fine. Then, the worst thing that will happen is that I have to cancel maybe session or two. I have to tell a client I can't work. But I take a step back. I put myself first. And that was really hard for me to learn, but I do that now.
Yeah, I love that. And as you shared, right, we can't pour from an empty cup. And a lot of time we tend to be very easy on others, but we tend to be harsh on ourselves and, stay perfectionist. I am another perfectionist, so I really get what you mean. And what I like what you mentioned as well is connections, asking for support from each other. And I think that is also one of the reasons why I really hope that this project 35 is something that is meaningful for you, for many women out there. Yeah, to share more experience from yourself, because a lot of time we think that we are very alone in this journey, but later do we realize that a lot of women also going through very same journey, and by sharing our stories and our journey, it can help to encourage and support each other. So also I really love what you have been sharing so far. And before I let you go, is there any one last thing that you would like to share with the audience, especially to the women who listen to our conversation today?
I think exactly what you said. I think what you're doing is a wonderful project. It's really wonderful because you show women and their journey. I mean, women and their journeys as they are. And when we first connected, I learned so much from you. And I think when we are real and when we show, our weaknesses, which are actually no weaknesses, it's just human, when we are just real, then others can feel better about themselves as well. I think we live in such a picture perfect Instagram world that we often forget that it's just a picture. It's just 1 second in time, and you don't know what is going on behind other people's pictures. And very often, and I think I'm one of these people, like the people that love everything to be beautiful and looking perfect. They have a whole lot going on behind. And I do love a nice picture, and I do love sharing positive energy and all of that. But there's this other part as well. And I think to be real and to be honest about that, we can all feel better, and we can all just breathe, and
exactly.
And just be ourselves.
Thank you so much.